Ladies, this is no place for a young woman.
Let them stay a moment, Fraser. I am unharmed.
If you remember the episode, Georgiana made an excuse to leave the house. There was like a new hat on sale, and it was basically a way for Georgiana to take Allison away from the house and to bring her to this army camp. Once again, this might be a good idea, might be a bad idea, but women usually, don't hang out with guys in the military area, and especially watching two men training in a battlefield with sword. Allison seemed to be captivated by what was going on in this scene, and Harder got an injured hand, and to their surprise, they saw Allison and Georgiana standing there watching them, and Fraser like, what in the world? And this is after Fraser invited the Parker family to that dinner, and he told Allison about Harder. So second thought in his mind at the same time, like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me, like you here because of Harder.
I simply came to thank you, sir, for saving me so gallantly yesterday.
I cannot take all the credit, miss.
You have my undying gratitude.
Allison wanted to thank Harder in a formal way, like she didn't have to, but she made the excuse to go there and to not only say thank you, but to see him in person and get to know him a little bit more. Just kind of like going a bit too fast. Hopefully it's a good thing or it's just a bad thing, You don't want to rush into a relationship very quickly. We'll see how Allison takes on a new relationship, like how she figure it out, Is she gonna take it slow, or is she gonna rush into a relationship? If he would be her first boyfriend, Had she ever had any relationship in the past or a broken heart? This might be a new thing for her, and she thinks she knows everything by reading the book, but Charlotte warned her, like, the real world is completely different than what you learn in books.
Miss Haywood, you are to attend the mess dinner.
I would not miss it for the world.
Then I might be so bored as to request the first dance of the evening.
I would be honoured to.
When I watched this scene, I kept looking at Fraser, and you can pick up on how he is behaving, especially when Harder asked Allison for the first dance, and Fraser like, you gotta be kidding me, when this conversation gonna end? He didn't want to be there, he didn't want to listen to this conversation between Harder and Allison. No one really knows what Fraser is thinking and how he feels toward Allison. It's a suckish feeling, like you don't want to disrespect your brother from another mother. It's like that brotherhood, like don't fall for the same woman, either him or Harder. But Harder's like going all in for Allison, while Fraser is stuck by the corner, being ignored, being avoided, while watching this unfold between Harder and Allison.
I must insist you ladies leave the camp. I shall escort you to the bridge.
Really, sir? Have you no heart at all?
None. Just a cold, hard rock in its place.
Fraser indirectly trying to break up Allison and Harder. Harder like, why in a hurry to hit them out? I don't mind the company. So I think it would take a while for Harder to realize that Fraser has some feelings for Allison. Fraser doesn't want to tell anyone, especially Harder, that he had feelings toward Allison, because then that will bring drama between his work relationship with Harder.
Still alive? Your mother?
Yes. She is.
I don't miss mine, before you ask. Although Father doesn't even like us to mention her name.
Leonore, I did not expect her to open up like this. especially when I watched this episode for the first time, Charlotte was very warm toward her and answered the question about her mom, that she's still alive. Leonora wanted to talk about her mom, and I don't think she has anyone to talk about her mom freely. It's something that they don't talk about at all in the household, including Mrs. Whitley. It must have been a painful death, a painful story to tell over and over again. It's something that Leonora went through ever since she was born. She never knew her mom, and I'm pretty sure that she wished that her mom was still alive.
What do you remember of her?
Nothing. She died when I was a baby.
You must miss her a little.
Can't miss what you never had.
That's really heartbreaking to hear from a 9-year-old. It just shows the state of her heart. She's very hurt and broken of not having a mom ever in her life. She doesn't have that role model, that mentor to raise her and to teach her the woman things in life. Charlotte, it's okay to miss her. She was still your mom. She gave birth to you. It wasn't something that you could control. It happened, unfortunately. She died, and it was hard and it was painful. Charlotte, I guess, on the other hand, trying to tell her, it's okay to be emotional and sad about it and talk about it. And I think this might be, the first time that Leonora opened up so much about her mom. And again, she really doesn't have anyone to talk to about her mom freely.
Of course you can. For example, Miss Hayward misses the husband she doesn't have. Don't you?
What I guess is that would have crossed the line, and I would have disciplined her right there and then. But at the same time, though, you have to give grace to Augusta because she didn't know what happened between Sydney and Charlotte.
I should very much like to paint your friend, Miss Lamb, but I fear she's taken against me.
Oh, that is just her manner.
She clearly holds you in high esteem. Perhaps you could convince her that I am not entirely without merit. I would forever be in your debt.
Oh, say no more, sir. I shall make it my mission.
Lockhart said Georgiana chooses Arthur as a girlfriend. She trusts him so much and respects him so much. Lockhart is dying for that. He wants the friendship that Arthur has with Georgiana. But more than that, he wants to have that opportunity to not only be a friend, but to possibly be a boyfriend or girlfriend. He has taken a high, deep interest in Georgiana, and basically he's using Arthur to get to Georgiana. And we'll see if she likes that. But she's not stupid. She knows when there are games playing. She is playing that game with Lockhart right now. That game of catch me if you can, play hard to get.
Leonora, it is customary to knock. What is so urgent?
Look.
Snails.
Water snails, sir. We collected them from the pond to examine them more closely.
I'm starting to wonder if Mr. Heybourne doesn't interact with the society, the public that much. What does he do in his office, He writes so much letters and stuff. But anyway, random thought. He is a busy man, outside of being a father and an uncle.
We were in want of a magnifying glass.
Really? Well, one snail, one magnifying glass, which I shall need back. Thank you.
We're being malacologists. Would you like to see our other specimens?
Mr. Heybourne seemed to be a busy man, and I think from what I'm picking up in the scene, it's very rare for him to take some time out of his daytime job to have this parent-child moment. of your child running into your office and interrupting your work and showing you what he or she is proud of, what they're learning, and so forth.
Tempting as that is, I shall have to decline.
Come, Miss Colvin, your father's busy.
It was very sweet of him to take a couple of minutes out of your day to talk to Leonora and to admire what she's learning and just have that proud moment. But time is limited, and he seemed to be busy at work, and the way that he declined, he tried to say it in a nice way, but Leonora, of course, as a child, of course you want to hang out with your dad. She wished that her dad took a longer break from work to see more of what she'd been up to. So that showed that struggle that she had with her father in their relationship, like she wanting to have more daddy time, to be closer to him, because she doesn't have a mom, right? All she got left is her dad, and it's very crucial for her to have that close relationship with him. She doesn't have anyone that she can cling to except for him.
Miss Hayward, forgive me, I must have been unclear. I thought I engaged you to make a young lady of Leonora.
That is precisely what I'm doing.
By trawling ponds for mollusks.
I'm widening her knowledge. She has no interest in embroidery, sir. And you see how engaged she is.
Okay, at first, Charlotte would not get in trouble. But when Leonora walked out of the room, he changed the gear in the conversation and asked her why you teaching Leonora that and not teach her how to be a proper woman, a proper girl. And Charlotte, like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm giving them education, and that's, like, more important than how to be a woman. Like, that can be taught later on. Charlotte is pushing the idea of education on the two girls, while Mr. Heybourne is trying to push the idea of how to be a proper person in society.
If you could just spare a moment to let her show you.
Thank you, Miss Hayward, but you were here to further the girls' education, not mine.
Then I shall leave you to your work, sir.
When Charlotte said that Leonora was engaged in the science activity, I think that somehow stopped him from continue debating with her, and he just let it go. I think deep inside of him, he was very impressed with how much Leonora is learning and enjoying the nature life. It showed the skills that Charlotte has in giving them the proper education and gain much more knowledge. I think Leonora never learned so much within a day until Charlotte came along. Funny what he said, like, are you teaching me or the two girls about education? So he definitely let it go, and he allowed her to continue to do what she's doing. But at the same time, I think he expects her to teach the girls how to be a proper woman. We'll see about that. But Charlotte did try, though. She tried to convince Leonora to learn how to knit earlier, but that's something that Leonora wasn't interested in, and that's something that Charlotte not gonna force on her. Like, if you don't like to do a certain hobby, like, she's not gonna punish Leonora or force her to continue to do what she doesn't want to do.
Planorbis calanatus, keeled ram's horn. If you're going to be malacologist, you might as well use the correct terminology.
But I think this is the first time where we see him be himself, and at the same time he was like teasing her in a way, because he's like, I know the proper terms. And Charlotte like, okay. But I think she was impressed a bit with what he said to her about the terminology. But I think this is the first time, I would say, in my opinion, that he was himself. Like, he wasn't that tough wall guy. He let down, he allowed the walls to come down a bit in this moment with Charlotte.
The last time I danced in Sanditon
was with Sydney. You must try to put that from your mind. We're going to enjoy ourselves tonight. We shall eat and drink and dance and forget all our cares.
The last time she went to a dance was at a ball, and she was with Sydney. She was falling in love with Sydney, and he was supposed to propose to her at the ball, but thanks to Edward, he crashed the party. So this is a new start, a new beginning for her. It definitely pushed her to move forward in her life, and I'm pretty sure Sydney will want her to be happy and enjoy the night.
Ladies, it's my honour to welcome you this evening. Miss Hayward, it's a particular pleasure to see you again. After supper, might I claim the first dance?
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, Colonel, but I really must greet the family Parker.
Colonel Lennox claiming the first dance with Charlotte. That's very bold of him to ask of that. Very confident. He definitely has this confidence inside of him when he is around Charlotte, and he's not shy to show Charlotte that he is interested in her. Funny of Georgiana, she's like, yeah, I'm out of this conversation.
So, Miss Hayward, how are you finding your new job?
Thus far, highly rewarding. You doubt me, sir?
You've previously spoken with such candour. It's strange to hear you dissemble.
Very nice of Colonel Lennox to check up on Charlotte and how her birthday at work went. She told him, and she had like some hesitation, like she wanted to say that it went well, but it didn't, and he picked up on that vibe.
I have 2 charges. One I've gained some ground with, but the elder girl is resistant.
Gaining ground is my vocation, Miss Hayward. We shall form a battle strategy before the night is out.
He's looking for a friendship with her, and she's becoming a bit more comfortable with him and opening up about her job as a governess and sharing with him that she had the 2 crazy children that she needs to watch after, and one of them is the lesser of the 2 evils. But it's really nice that he's willing to listen to her and allow her to speak her mind about her first day of work. I mean, she's not looking for a relationship, but I think he might be. But for now, it's nice to see her talk to other men and to get to know them and possibly make a friendship with a new guy, especially after what happened with Sydney. It's like she going into the battlefield again and just venture out and see what's out there. She might have a change of heart when it comes to love, but right now she's just enjoying life, meeting new people.
I should never have thought you so credulous.
Neither Fuchs nor any doctor I have consulted can help me.
Fuchs sounds positively rational besides this charlatan. And you went to her house?
She is no charlatan. Mrs. Potter has assisted many women.
I'm so glad Esther went to that midwife that Miss Hankin recommended earlier in this episode. She's not giving up. She's willing to take any necessary route that will help her to get pregnant again and to have a healthy baby. It's like a second chance given to her, and she's willing to take that opportunity. And if this midwife thing works out, it would be a reward at the end when she does get her own baby.
And if nothing else, she's given me hope. What do I have to lose? I knew we should not have come.
Pay him no heed. He is no threat to either of us.
Lady Denham and Esther, this duo in season 2, I think it has evolved and the relationship changed a lot in season 2. They are stronger together. They protect one another. They support one another. It's like 2 versus 1. Esther and Lady Denham versus Edward. It's nice to have your aunt on your side, right? And your aunt has money and fortune. But they will, go through some battles with Edward and someone else, which we will talk in another video. But for now, it's really nice that she has an aunt that supports her, and not only support her with protecting her from Edward, but also support her in wanting Esther to have her own child, even though Lady Denham, thinks, what Esther is doing with the midwife situation is crazy. She's still gonna support her needs because she wants the best for her and wants her to have a happy marriage with Lord Babington and have that happy family life in the near future.
Miss Lamb, Miss Hayward, I believe you have met my dear friend, Mr. Lockhart.
I wasn't aware you were so well acquainted.
Lockhart is definitely using Arthur for the very purpose of getting Georgiana attention. Georgiana knows Arthur very well, so she's like, really? You really a good friend with Lockhart? And like, didn't you guys just met this summer in Sanditon?
Oh, yes, I cannot praise this gentleman enough. He is a fine fellow, and, I might add, quite a remarkable portraitist.
I shall take your word for it.
Are you not inclined to make your own opinion, Miss Lamb?
It's very funny of how Arthur trying to describe Lockhart like this all-around great guy and that he knows him very well. It's a little bit over the line, and I think Georgiana picked up on that. When Lockhart said to Georgiana, you couldn't form your own opinion of me, he shouldn't have said that. I think he should have kept his mouth shut. And just like say something else or just leave the conversation.
I already have. Excuse us.
She is definitely warming up to you.
I admire your optimism.
The way the conversation ended, that doesn't look good. And Arthur is trying his very best because he wants Georgiana to have a husband, to find that happiness. And he thinks that Lockhart is the best choice for Georgiana in this very moment, but Georgiana, she's not really that interested in Lockhart just yet. She still prefers Arthur to be her future husband.
Miss Hayward.
Captain Carter.
How elegant you look.
Thank you. And what a beautiful setting.
Georgiana is the matchmaker for Arthur and Allison. I just realized, Arthur is the matchmaker for Georgiana and Lockhart. Anyway, so Georgiana and Arthur are doing their own matchmaking business in season 2. Allison, she was very excited to see Arthur. This is a great chance for her to talk to him more and get to know him more.
I am reminded of those lines of Cooper. I fly to scenes romantic. I feel as though I've flown here myself.
Indeed. Cooper, yes. What a genius he is. I worship his poetry.
As do I. Which is your favourite?
Allison loves poetry, so that makes sense because she reads a lot of books, like Charlotte does. Arthur pretend to know the author or what she just said. That's a red flag. Pretending to know something when you don't know, just to impress the person. I don't know if Allison would like that, I don't know if she would still like him if he was honest to her and told her that he doesn't know that person or doesn't read poetry that much.
I could hardly choose.
I can hardly choose. What a nice save. He just said to her, we'll see if he can keep up with this lie that he just created on the first night that they together in public. This is not a good sign. We'll see if he keep lying to her about himself. it's definitely a red flag.